Good morning. I'm Todd Duplantis. It is Monday, March 23rd, 2020, and welcome to Up to the Minute. We are live on Facebook this morning, and we're in a new world right now. We're broadcasting remotely to you, our Houston Community College audience, and we have some guests lined up for this morning show who can give us a bit of insight as to things you need to know as we go back into the semester. And you know, things have changed a lot since we left for spring break, and really over the last 2 weeks. Joining us this morning, Brittany Pachenko, who is our co-host. Thanks for being here, Brittany.
Good morning, everyone.
And we've got Dr. Kurt Ewen, Vice Chancellor of Strategy Planning and Institutional Effectiveness, but also the head of our COVID-19 task force. I know you've been busy. Good morning, Dr. Ewen.
Good morning, Todd.
And also joining us to answer questions for a lot of our faculty and staff who are watching this morning, Janet May, who is the Chief Human Resources Officer from Talent Engagement. Welcome to Up to the Minute, Janet.
Good morning, everyone.
We're going to go ahead and get started with Dr. Ewen. Now, last week we had you on midweek, and things really have changed since then. Why don't you go over and talk with our faculty and staff and students and let them know what you'd like to know, what they need to know about where we are right now with the situation. Dr. Ewen.
Great. Thanks, Todd, and Janet and Brittany for being here as well. I'm sure there's lots of information that's going to come out. If you have questions during the course of this podcast, type it into the into the subject line at the bottom. It'll go to our communication staff, and they'll push the questions out to us to be able to get you the best answer possible. I think in terms of changes, the biggest change that we've seen is that we made the decision to close all HCC campuses and office locations. That means absolutely no access for students, faculty, staff, or visitors, with very few limited exceptions at our 3100 main location, which is our administrative offices. And if you're questioning as to whether or not you're one of those limited people, you need to have an email indicating that you are for that to work. Understandably, this is going to place a burden on faculty and staff. I can tell you that the vast majority of the faculty and staff are working today to begin the process of transitioning their work lives to home or to some other location other than one of our locations. And we're moving in the direction of remote work. So that's going on. Given everything that's happening, the guidance we are receiving from the authorities and our priority, which is the health and safety of our students and employees, we felt it necessary to take these actions last week. They happened faster than we might have anticipated. I just want everybody to realize that when we went on break, we were in the midst of the transition from 1,000 or less people gathering to 500 or less. And then that went down very quickly to 250 to 50 and then to 10. And 10 isn't really only about planned gatherings, it's the informal gatherings that might happen. So that we made that decision, and here we are.
Right, and as we're speaking right now, there's a news conference going on with Harris County Judge Lina Hidalgo, and she announced at the beginning of the news conference she is considering the shelter in place. She'll be meeting with city and other county officials today, so more information could be coming out later today. Nothing has been determined yet, but we'll keep you up to date as we know more about that. So back to the question about the HCC locations and facilities. What does that exactly mean? Are they shut down for staff at this point?
So the answer is yes. Closed means closed, and closed for everyone. If you're a faculty or staff member with concerns about access or your ability to do work remotely, you need to reach out to your supervisor. And let them know as quickly as possible, and we'll figure out something. All of our college operations now are online, and next week, all of our classes resume, and they will be online. All of them will be online as well for the foreseeable future.
Dr. Ewen.
This is for the safety of our students, faculty, and staff. Sorry, Todd.
Yep.
And the locations will reopen when it's deemed safe to do so, and that determination of safety is not one that we make. It is one that we are following the guidance of the county judge, our mayor, the governor of Texas, and the president of the United States, the Centers for Disease Control, or the CDC. We have a very large team of people working around the clock in some cases to monitor what's going on and to make sure that our actions are consistent with the actions that are being made and decisions that are being made above us.
Thank you for answering that. And you know that, as we mentioned just a moment ago, things are changing by the hour, and I imagine later today things will be changing as well. So, what are the main activities that will be happening this week before classes resume?
So there are two big ticket items happening. Well, three big ticket items that I'll talk about. First, it's about faculty and staff. Those are really two different things, working together to finalize our plans to start classes and student support services online across the system. So your classes will be online, advising will be online, tutoring will be online. Everything that you would normally come to us for will be online. We need everyone to complete training, faculty and staff, if they haven't already, primarily faculty. We have a number of faculty who have never really taught in an online or remote environment. And so we've got teams of people. We have hundreds of faculty mentors who are ready and willing to work with faculty who've not taught in this way before to get them ready to go. We need our faculty to be populating their, what we call a Canvas shell. Canvas is our learning management system that our students use to interact at a distance with their faculty and with each other. And faculty are the ones who build those shells in concert with our support staff that can help them do that. Wednesday, March 25th, is the date that we are looking to have all the Canvas shells in place, and we're working hard. We meeting this morning where we check it off every morning. How many are done? How many more? What do we need to do to make that happen? Let me just say this for faculty and staff: if you have questions, ask. Right? That we're here to help. If it's unclear what the expectation is, ask us. Ask your supervisor. Put it out there online. Let us know what you're concerned about. Part of that will be discussed by Janet when she gets up here in a minute. Also this week is we will be moving to test our system. We're going to be moving to a system next week that is uncharted territory for us. We serve 100,000 students a year all across greater Houston. Currently, only about 20% of those courses that students take. So in any given semester, we have about 7,000 sections of courses running. And normally about 20% of those are online. So we're going fully online as much as possible. And that will happen on the 30th. There will be some items coming up in terms of students, but we can talk more about that in a minute unless you have any other questions, Todd.
I do have one question about students. And before I get to that, I want to remind folks, if you're watching us online, we are having a bit of buffering issues. We're working through that. We will take this, I'm recording this live stream. We'll be taking this live stream, producing it offline, and then uploading it to all of our social media channels, including YouTube. You'll have a link through Twitter. So if you're having some buffering issues, please tune in later today, and you can re-watch this live stream across all social media channels. Now back to our questions, Dr. Ewen. What should students be doing this week and focusing on?
Well, I'm going to say, broadly speaking, we should all, employees, faculty, and staff, should be good citizens. We should practice the things that we're being asked to practice: social distancing, washing your hands, all the things that we know that we should be doing and being told that we should be doing, we should do. This is not a time. We've extended our spring break for students essentially for another week. This isn't a time to go with your friends to Galveston to the beach. This is the time to be preparing for class or working here at home in jobs that you may have. In terms of students, the other thing I'm going to ask them to do is to check in on a regular basis at their hccs.edu email. You may get emails from us at your favorite account, but I can tell you that faculty are primarily directing those emails to you through your hccs.edu email that all students will have. So check that on a regular basis to make sure that that faculty get in touch with you. As I said before, we've extended spring break through this week for our students, but they can still be doing a handful of things to make sure that they are ready for classes to resume. First of all, Dr. Shante Grays, my colleague who handles all of student services, will be sending out an email today with information about the resources, including training that students can be doing in advance. Just like our faculty, a number of students have never taken online classes before, and we'd like students to get some idea as to what they're in for. It's a different way of learning. And so being prepared, knowing what to expect can be a really beneficial thing. And we know that it's new for all of us, certainly for many of us. So we've developed these training resources to help students start to know the systems, to make sure they know how to reach out for help. Again, just like I said before, if you're a student and you need help, if things aren't clear as to what you should be doing, let us know. Tell your faculty member, tell an advisor, post it. Let us know what you're feeling so that we can be responsive to those needs. The training for students will be available starting tomorrow, but there's already a great deal of information that students can go in and be reading on our COVID-19 website under the resources for students section that can help them get prepared now. If you're wondering how to get onto the COVID-19 site, just go to the hccs.edu webpage, and there's a big banner right across the top talking about COVID-19. Hit that button and it'll take you to all of those resources. Lastly, I'm going to say to students, we send out surveys and other kinds of things to get input from you. These things tell us whether you have access to internet or to a computer to be able to do your work. This helps us be responsive. When we send you something, we try and keep the questions as few as possible so that we're really finding out exactly what we need to know. The survey that I'm referring to on your access to devices is a survey that has been texted to you. It's been emailed to you. It's been shared on social media. Take care, do that, and let us know what you need. If you're ready to go online, we are working with some of our business partners and organizations in town to find out ways that we can help make sure that as many of our students who need internet access, computers, that we will help them figure out how to make that happen.
Thank you, Dr. Ewen. A lot of great.
With Todd, I'm going to come up for air now.
Yeah, you made some great points and given us certainly some things to look at. I was, while you were talking, showing some of the COVID-19 website. You can reach that two ways: hccs.edu and click on the red banner across the page, or you can go to hccs.edu/health-notice. Dr. Ewen, I know you're very busy. Thank you for being with us this morning, and I'm sure we'll talk to you during the week as necessary. Janet May.
Send your questions. We'll answer. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, Janet. How are you? Thanks for being here. And I don't think you've been on Up to the Minute before. What a way to join us, huh? Remotely and
I know.
Online.
Yeah. Sorry, I overspoke. I apologize. Yes, my first time, and I broke the first rule. Let the other person talk. No, this is my first time. I'm really excited to be here. I'm really glad that Kurt was able to join me. He has a lot of tremendous information, and it's kind of been a whirlwind of a couple of weeks as we've been going through.
Boy, it really has. And things seem to change by the hour. Every time I know you guys put a plan in place, then it has to change because we're doing something differently. Well, now we're all remote. A lot of us, all of us are working at home right now. And I'm real proud of the HCCTV folks because they were able to get us up and working last week so we could test all this out. So we are up and running. But let's talk about what employees need to know about working remotely. Day one of working remotely, what advice would you give our faculty and staff as we all get started in this new environment?
I think the biggest thing is that this is going to be a huge shift for all of us. And so I just ask everybody to stay patient, stay really positive, and if you need help, reach out to us. We, just like what Kurt talked about with the resource site, we also have a resource site available. for all of our faculty and staff. And if you go to the main COVID page on hccs.edu, there's a specific COVID-19 essential resources for faculty and staff site that it will take you to when you click on the button, and it has hundreds of different resources that you can access. We've been keeping up with communications, making sure those are up on the site. We have all kinds of forms that can be completed. We have FAQs, we have resources, and we're just continually updating that information as we go through. So there's a plethora of stuff there, and you definitely want to make sure that you're working through that. I think more importantly with a remote work type world is that we can become very isolated very quickly. I love doing these virtual where we are able to see one another going through, because it's very important, because we are people who always are used to having contact. We're in higher ed. We're used to being close to our students. We're used to having daily contact with our coworkers. So I would say, as much as possible, have video conferences, pick up the phone, have a conversation, set a schedule. It's really easy, and I'm the first to tell you I found that out. I'll sit down, start working, and I'll look up and it's 10 o'clock. I have missed dinner with my family. I have missed all kinds of things and not gone outside one time on that end. So set a schedule, kind of work to get into that, and really stay in contact also with your supervisor. They are going through the same thing as you are. So sometimes when we do these videos, they don't come out perfect. I decided not to wear my headset today. I look like I'm, on that end. I have a headset I typically wear to kind of bring down the noise. We're going to have noises. We're going to have children, because we have a lot of children that are at home right now, so they might run across. Some of us have children that have 4 legs and fur. We're going to hear dog barking from time to time. I'm really glad right my nine haven't done that. But we just need to be patient, be kind, be positive through this whole thing, and just really support one another as we go through this.
And you mentioned at the top, we're all going through this together. You as a chief human resources officer, as a supervisor myself, this is all new to all of us. So we're all brand new. So what I've been talking to staff about is let's give it some time. It's going to work. It's just that we're still all kind of feeling our way and learning as we go along.
That's absolutely correct, Todd. My team has been great. There's a lot of people that have been working over spring break, and I do want to send a shout out to all the HCC faculty and staff. I could not be more proud to work at an organization than where we are today. I saw so many people coming together over, before spring break and over spring break to get us to where we are right now. And it truly is a collaborative process as we go through. We even hosted a webinar over spring break for our supervisors. And I think I sent it out to about 460 supervisors, and over 300 showed up.
Yeah.
So in a webinar environment. So I just really want to send that shout out, because I think some people don't realize just how great a faculty and staff we have here at HCC.
Absolutely. Now, going back to the resource site, if an employee wants to talk to someone versus going to the resource site, is there a phone number they could call? Because a lot of people like to get a live person on the phone.
Absolutely. We set that up before we left for spring break. And in fact, we had that going during spring break. So if you want to talk to someone, before we called it a hotline, but I'm now calling it the resource line set up. And it's very easy. It's 713-718-2300. You can also email us. We did set up an email address. Sometimes people don't want to wait on the phone, because be patient with us. We will have a lot of calls coming in. You might have some hold times. But if you want to email us, the email address is super simple. It's COVID-19, all one word, .resources@hccs.edu, and we will definitely get back with you. But we just ask that you be a little bit patient, because as we start on this journey, just with everybody else in remote work, it might take us just a little while to get back with you, but we typically try to get back within about a 24-hour period.
So once again, that phone number, and this is the Human Resources Hotline, in other words.
It's the resource line, yes.
Okay, 713-718-2300.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very well. And we'll be mentioning that throughout our broadcast today. What about the faculty and staff who can't work remotely? What do we have in place for them?
Right now, we're really trying to work through the transition. So I know a lot of supervisors are looking at ways to move people to working remotely. So what I would say is be patient, stay in contact with your supervisor as you go through. It's very, very important. We'll have people maybe in waves coming on to the remote world. We don't want people to worry about that. So if you just stay in contact with your supervisor, it'll be really helpful. One of the things I want to emphasize is that we did put out an automated form that is an authorization for remote work. And we are asking all of our faculty and staff who are going to be working remotely to complete that form by this Friday, which is the 27th. I realize that a lot of people are today working remote, but we're given a little bit of lag time as we go through. That form's super easy. It's on the resource site. You simply fill it out. It automatically routes to your supervisor. The approval comes through and we know. So we do need that by the 27th of March. I do want to say that from the time we've launched the form to now, we have gotten a tremendous response as we are going through in regards to response to those forms. So when you go there, it's right on our main page. You'll be able to see it as you go through. It is, I believe, Todd, it might not be up on the main HCC page. It's actually on the Essential Resources site as you go through, but it's right on that main page of the Essential Resources site. And we've had over 2,000 come in so far.
You certainly have, and I've been getting those from a lot of staff. So people are certainly getting the emails and paying attention to them. Any final words of advice? Because as we keep mentioning, this is all new for all of us. Anything you'd like to let employees know as we're now on day one with this remote environment that we're working in?
Absolutely. You know, I think one of the things we've been saying, the theme throughout, is stay kind, stay positive, stay compassionate, and most of all, stay flexible. This is a totally new, not just remote work environment for us, but a totally new environment that we're in. It is ever changing. I think what you said was true at the beginning. We've had to be very flexible. We basically put some processes into place, and within a matter of hours, things are shifting as we go through. So what I would tell everybody is that decisions we make, we're making those not up as we go, but we make it for what's right then, and then we have to readdress as we go through. So just be flexible with us. It is an ever-changing environment. Be flexible with your coworkers, be flexible with your supervisors. Most of all, be kind to your students. I don't know any other way of saying that other than just be kind and be compassionate, because they're going through everything we are, and they look to us many times to be kind of that anchor as we go through. You're going to make mistakes. We're going to do a video and we're going to mess it up, you know, on that end. It's okay. We're human. And that's the whole thing. The other thing I want to kind of say is that you're going to see throughout the week, we're going to be hosting some virtual coffee breaks at 11 a.m. starting tomorrow, and we'll have special guests. They'll be really short, but it gives everybody time to kind of connect through that, and we'll also be recording those. Those will not be streamed on Facebook Live because I'm not that good yet with that one. But we are going to use WebEx and through WebEx events. So we'll definitely be working through that. And guys, this is a brand new world for me also as we go through. So again, stay kind, stay positive, stay compassionate, and stay flexible as we go through with everything. We are so proud of how far we've come in such a short period of time.
You made some good points there. Very being flexible, but if you need help with the Facebook Live, let us know. We're here to help you guys as well, because we've learned a lot over the past few weeks and getting ready for this. You know, I'll ask you a personal question. Working through Hurricane Harvey, I know you guys made a lot of adjustments during that. How is that that disaster that happened then, and how the college reacted to it? How is that helping you now as we move through things?
I think it really did help us. We learned a lot of things through Hurricane Harvey at that point in time. It was my first hurricane ever, so that was a first for me. But I think we all learned that there's a lot we can do when we come together. So when we started entering this, while it's not a natural disaster in the sense that it's a hurricane and you know that it's going to hit land at this time and your fallout could be this long. This is something very different. So I think it really prepared us to be flexible and collaborative with one another. It's a little different because we are having those changes day by day. So for instance, personally, both my husband and I are both working out of the house. So I took over the first floor and I relegated him to the second floor. And I am not only the Chief Human Resources Officer for HCC right now, I am the IT tech person for the May household. And he will tell you that. He's like, can you set me up with Zoom? What is Zoom? Why are we doing this as we're going through? So, we're all dealing with that. So I think all the preparation we did and all the things that came through from Harvey really came through and us working together in this environment. What was different this time was we typically did phone calls before. This time we really used Microsoft Teams and all of our video capabilities. And I think that really helped us stay connected as we were going through.
Janet May, Chief Human Resources Officer, Talent Engagement at Houston Community College. Thank you for being here this morning, and welcome again to the show. If you have anything you'd like to tell the audience as we move through this week, or really as we're going through, just let us know. We'll get you back on here, and we'd love to have you once again.
Perfect. Guys, thank you so much for inviting me, allowing me to be here, especially on our first day of remote. It's new, exciting times, and I'm sure we're all going to learn together.
Thank you, Janet. Thank you for joining us this morning. I know you're busy as well, and we appreciate you being here.
Not a problem. Y'all have a great day.
You too. Brittany Pachenko with us all morning. Thanks again for being here, Brittany. I know you, did you go out of town during the holiday?
Oh, no, not what, no.
Yeah. You didn't?
No, we've been staying home, and Todd, you know that my husband is a first grade teacher for HISD. So just as everyone has been saying already, this is uncharted territory for everyone. So while HCC has been trying to work through its processes to figure out the best solution for our students, HISD is doing the same. And so he's actually in the other room right now chatting with some of his parents about how they're going to proceed with their instruction. And it's really interesting just how we all have been forced to stay home and just try to adjust.
I know it is different. My wife is a nurse for HISD, and she actually had to go into one of her schools to kind of pack things up, and work in a very limited staff. But yeah, it's uncharted territory for all of us. One thing I've noticed, though, I live off of Memorial, and I look out, and there are hardly any cars out there this weekend. Literally, you can count the cars as they went by, maybe on a single hand every 20 minutes or so. There weren't many out there. I do see people walking around, which is okay. And I've been going to Memorial Park every day. And boy, lots of folks at Memorial Park. People are getting out. In that aspect, at least.
Yeah, and that's good. We've been listening to the conferences with Judge Lina Hidalgo and, the city's instructions about when it's appropriate to go outside, especially if you need to make those grocery errands. We're not so much at a level where we can go out leisurely, but if you do need to exercise, go outside, go to a park where it's open, maintain your social distancing policies, if you will. I had to run to Target the other day to pick up a couple of things, and Target, shout out to Target, because they on their checkout lanes had markers where it says, "Thank you for practicing social distancing." And so you see the little feet prints 6 feet away from the person in front and behind you. So that's pretty cool that a lot of these other companies are following through with policies and just make sure it's safe for us to be able to do some of these normal daily tasks that we need to do in order to get through the day.
Yeah.
I like going to Target, just Target. But now we kind of have to cut that back.
Just to get outside is nice at times. We went to Target yesterday. I noticed the same thing you noticed as well with the lines with the social distancing. So kudos to them. Before we get into the social media questions, I want to mention once again, you can find all the information for HCC pertaining to HCC at hccs.edu on our main page. Click on the red banner or go directly to it at hccs.edu/health notice. Now, I know over the past week, Brittany, you've been answering and kind of keep an eye on the questions students are having out there in social media. What are some of the ones that you notice that are reoccurring?
Naturally, there's a lot of questions about, before we were told that we were going to return this week for classes. And since then, this has been ever changing. And again, I'm going to reiterate it. This is uncharted territory, not only for HCC, but the entire world. The entire world has basically shut down, if you will. And so I just like to say to students and to faculty and staff, reiterating what Dr. Ewen and Janet May had to say is that, be patient with us, because, we're trying to figure out the best policy and the best way to proceed with the semester for everyone. So we might not have all the answers immediately, but please understand your answers are coming, and your questions are being heard, they're being read. Definitely the social media team, not just myself, but shout out to Justin Boyd and to Frank Cooper, who have also jumped in to assist. Again, I'm going to be upfront, transparent. We don't have all the answers. This is ever changing, but what answers we do have, we will be sure to share with our students on all of our social media platforms. That's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as Snapchat. But the best place to go to at this time for resources is that same main page that Todd, that you and Dr. Ewen and Janet have been talking about, is the hccs.edu/health-notice. There's resources available for our students, for our faculty and staff. And there's also recently a breakdown about the procedures of moving forward with the online classes. So students, again, please visit our HCC website, click that red banner that Todd is showing right now, scroll down to the first collapsible or uncollapsible item where it says March 21st, and there you'll see our operations schedule on how we're going to be moving forward. So this week is especially important for students because online training will begin again this week. And, we're trying to get you all better prepared to complete your semester. And to those who are about to graduate, this is really important for you as well. So make sure that you visit this site often, because that's where all of our updates will be. And again, we will communicate all of this on social media when we have new information to share.
That's a good point. And realistically, we're getting new information almost daily, if not by the hour. As I mentioned at the top of this live stream, Judge Lina Hidalgo, she's actually just wrapping up right now. At the beginning of, the social media rumors have been going rampant, but at the beginning of her press conference, she addressed the shelter in place in Harris County, and she said it's something that she's going to be speaking with the mayor of Houston about, and also local or regional judges from other counties nearby to make a decision on that. And she did say that, they'll be talking more about that later today, and I imagine they'll be announcing something one way or another as to where they are with that. So the main thing is stay plugged in, watch the local news, keep up to date, and if you have a question, go to our website or post it in social media, because you guys are out there as well, making sure that we try to get the answers to them in a timely fashion, and we answer what we were going to give the answers we know at the time.
Yeah, that's correct. Actually, while we were doing this broadcast, I had a student who just emailed, or rather sent a message through Facebook asking a question dealing with, her class, and asking about the necessity for webcams. At this time, students who have children who are staying home, they have to figure out what's going to happen with their schooling and what have you. And so, money is also going to be a really, really high commodity right now, because people are not working and what have you. These expenses may not be able to be made for purchases such as webcams and what have you. So, the best information or the best advice I could give to our students right now is, stay in contact with your instructors. Again, this is uncharted territory. They are trying to cope with this just as much as we are. And so, just keep in contact with them. And like Janet said, be kind, be compassionate, be patient with us. We don't have all the answers because of the very fact that this is a new event for us entirely. All the other universities across the state, across the country, across the world are having to deal with this as well. Yeah. So, they've also had to, come up with policies and procedures to put in place. And they may have come up with it quickly enough, but, we're also a separate institution. We have hundreds of thousands of students that we need to think about and figure out the best solution that hopefully fits everyone. And again, just be patient with us. We might not have all the answers up front. And I know students, I understand, I'm a former student myself. You want to be prepared, and the best that I can say right now is to definitely send your questions. We'll respond as quickly as we can. And if we don't have an answer to your questions, just please know that your questions are being forwarded to college administration, who can better assist with answering those questions. And once we have those answers, we will be sure to follow up and relay those answers to you.
And that answer may not come directly on in a comment in social media. They may wind up getting an email from administrators or their professor. So keep in mind with that as well. Just because we don't comment in social media doesn't mean we're not addressing that question. We will contact either you through a direct message or you'll be sent an email. So those are all good points that you brought up earlier. And this is all new for us. You know, we keep mentioning that. This is all new for us. But, you know, there's a lot of folks said, boy, it would have been nice to work at home. But I don't know about that now. I'm ready to go back to work, and we're just getting started with this. So at least we're prepared. We're online, and we can do our live streaming and communicate with the community as students and faculty and as well. So, Brittany, we're about to wrap things up for Up to the Minute. Do you have anything else you'd like to get out there to the folks?
Sure, absolutely. Students, we've been sending out social media posts about taking the student equipment survey. I know a lot of you heavily rely on the HCC buildings being open, utilizing their labs, the library, what have you. But please go ahead and take that survey if you can, just so that HCC is better aware of your situation. If you have access to a laptop, desktop computer, Wi-Fi, that kind of thing, because right now, HCC is closed entirely until further notice. Classes will resume next Monday, March 30th. So you need to be sure to communicate your needs with the college as soon as possible. And you can go and take that survey online. It should have been emailed to everyone. If not, you can find the link on our social media pages. Again, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All that information is there. And just stay in touch with your professors. If you do have questions, please be sure to send us a direct message on all of our platforms, comment, what have you. We will get back with you as soon as possible. And if we don't have the answers immediately, again, please be patient with us. We want to give you the most correct information, because the last thing we want to do is mislead our students and to give them incorrect information. This is an ever fluid, changing situation. So please bear with us. And, we're here for you. This is of the utmost importance, health and safety, but your education and moving forward is also of the utmost importance.
Absolutely. And we just want to tell people, once again, students, faculty, and staff, visit the website if you haven't done so yet, hccs.edu. Click on the red banner. You'll find resource guides for students, for faculty, for staff. Everyone's resource guide is located on that page. You can also go directly to it at hccs.edu/health-notice. So that is it for Up to the Minute today. Just to give you an idea, we're going to be here in social media several times through the next week, every morning live at 10 a.m. with our show. We'll have guests on throughout the week, but we'll have other things in social media that you'll be seeing from us, just to kind of maybe lighten your day, tell some stories of people out there who are going through the same thing that you're going through. So look for us in social media and follow us, share this post, and let people know about it, because this is a way we can be connected with you to address your needs, to inform you, and to let you know we're all going to get through this one way or another. Brittany, thank you for being here this morning, and thank you for joining us on Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. We'll see you later.